नाना शास्त्र विचारेणैक निपुण सद्धर्म संस्थापको नाना शास्त्र विचारेणैक निपुण सद्धर्म संस्थापको लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मन्नौ शरणाकरो लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मन्नौ शरणाकरो मन्नौ शरणाकरो राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना नंदेन मत्तालिको राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना नंदेन मत्तालिको राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना नंदेन मत्तालिको वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुजुगो श्रीजीव Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Bande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Bande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Shri Jiva Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, going back to Brihad Bhagavatamritam again, the nectarian expansion of Srimad Bhagavatam, the great nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. So Gokumar now is instructed to go back to Vrindavan. So when he came to Vrindavan, he started to wandering alone there, observing the earth, a splendor that he had never seen before. This earth planet appeared to be so wonderful. And taking up his residence in the forest, he started to live there. The earth planet is glorious because the Lord performs his pastimes here. And when he was in Mathura, Madhupuri, he heard some Brahmanas were discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. So he heard Srimad Bhagavatam in their assembly, in their association. Can somebody switch it off? Just switch it off. And after understanding the devotional service in its 9 form, he came to reside in the forest of Vrindavan And as he arrived in Vrindavan, he met his spiritual master. And he appeared splendid as before. And when he saw him lying in front of him, then he picked him up affectionately and embraced him and offered his blessings. And in this way, his spiritual master bestowed his mercy upon him. And receiving his grace, he receiving his grace, all the confidential secrets of spiritual life was revealed to him in his heart. So this is how, by the mercy of the spiritual master, the transcendental knowledge or the secret of spiritual life becomes revealed in the heart. And it inundated his heart so profusely that he lost control of himself. He was unable to do anything but just chant the holy name of the Lord. Chant the glories of the Lord, saying, O Krishna, O Gopal, Hari, Mukunda, Govinda, O Nanda Kishore, Krishna, O darling son of Sri Jashoda, please show me your favor. O life of divine cowherd girls, O Lord of Radhika, please bestow your mercy upon me. In this way, he called out to Krishna and sang his glories in various ways. At one moment, he danced like a madman with his heart filled with joy, and at another time, he just sobbed loudly like a madman. Wandering here and there, according to his whims, forgetting his own body and everything else. Once he thought that he saw the Lord of his life standing in front of him, and he ran to hold of him, get hold of him, to catch him. Overwhelmed by love, he fainted and fell to the ground. When he gained his senses, when he regained his consciousness, then he found that the associates of the Lord had come with a very special spaceship, airplane, to take him to Vaikuntha. And he was quite bewildered, quite shocked. He saw that those personalities were taking him to the spiritual world. As he respectfully offered his obeisances to them, those associates of the Lord, Vishnu Dutas, embraced him and reassured him again and again, putting forward hundreds of arguments. They wished to give him a body just like theirs, that means four-armed, holding conch, disc, club and lotus. But he refused to take that offer. And with his same form as he had in Govardhan, he entered into Vaikuntha. And on the way to Vaikuntha, he actually came across Lord Shiva. Remember how he met Lord Shiva and Parvati before, and they instructed him, and then the Vishnudutas came and they also instructed him and then asked him to go to Vrindavan. So on his way back, he met Lord Shiva again with great pleasure, and filled with love, he instructed and blessed him again. Then arriving in Vaikuntha, the associates of the Lord told him, just you wait here and we will take you. And when he was waiting outside of the gate of Vaikuntha, then different personalities came. Like he saw the personality came down from a spaceship, and he thought that that was the Lord. So he started to offer prayers to him, saying, offering his prayers to him, addressing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But hearing that, that personality just covered his ears and said, no, I am not the Lord, I am not the Lord. Then another personality came, so he thought he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he again offered him prayers, and that person affectionately smiled at him and said, look, I am not the Lord, and went in. So in this way, he met various residents of Vaikuntha who appeared to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but who in return, when he offered their his obeisances to them, they just responded by saying, I am the servant, I am the servant, I am the servant of the servants. So then the Vishnudutas came back to take him inside, and so he went with them. They took him inside, and there he saw that so many personalities who looked just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was passing through one gate after another in Vaikuntha. Those gates were guarded by the celestial, the Vishnudutas like Jais and Vijayas, and they glorified him as they arrived there, and they reported to their next head, saying that this personality has arrived. So gate after gate he went like that, and when he came upon these personalities, like who were these gatekeepers were addressing as the Lord or Master, so he thought that they were the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anyway, initially he was quite confused arriving in Vaikuntha, seeing all those spiritual personalities having the same form. And he also saw other personalities. Some appeared like human beings, some as monkeys, demigods, demons, or sages, and some even bore the signs of varnashram. In varnashram system, different people dress themselves also differently. Like Brahmanas dress in a certain way, Kshatriyas dress in a certain way, Vaishyas dress in a certain way. So, different people, he saw as if these people were following varnashram. And some look like Indra, some look like Chandra, or other demigods. Some had 3 eyes, or 4 hands, or 4 arms, or 8, or 1,000 faces. So this is how he entered into Vaikuntha, seeing the wonderful characteristic of that place. Though there seem to be different personalities and different hierarchies in Vaikuntha, but he could also recognize that all the residents, they are all considered to be equal among themselves. There is no discrimination in their position. And he could he experienced that the happiness that he derived in Vaikuntha was 1,000,000 times greater than the happiness that he experienced in Brahma Jyoti. So then finally he was taken to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a palace which was beyond anybody's imagination. Actually, Vaikuntha itself was gorgeous and exquisitely opulent, but that palace was indescribably opulent. And within the palace, he saw before him at a distance the personality of Godhead. The Lord of Vaikuntha was sitting on a royal throne. The brilliant effulgence of his sweet, attractive limbs defeated the splendor of new rain cloud. The effulgence lent further grace to his garlands, cosmetics and garments, already graced by jewelries made of gold bedecked with gems. His forearms shining, long and well built, enhanced the beauty of his bangles and armlets. 2 yellow silk garments dressed his body, and charming earrings set off his rounded cheeks. On his broad chest was Kaustava jewel. On his conch shell neck a string of pearls, and on his moon-like face a nectarian smile. His lotus eyes were alive with playful glances. The great compassion he greeted him. Rama, Lakshmi Devi, was standing on his left side and reverently offered him excellent pan to chew, betel leaf to chew, which he accepted. And that color of the pan made his bimba fruit-like lips even more attractive, and their luster reflected on his teeth 2 rows of spotless kunda flowers. Illumined by the glow of those flowers, His playful smile shone splendidly. His amusing words and gestures stole away the hearts of his devotees. Goddess Dharani, Bhudevi, in one side was Lakshmi Devi, left side, on right side was Bhudevi or Dharani. On her, she was holding a vessel where he was spitting the remnants of betel nut, constantly worshipped by the Lord with messages in sidelong glances. And the Lord's excellent weapon, like Sudarshan, served him in beautiful personified form. So Lord Sudarshan is also a person. Their identity is marked by symbols on their heads. They're all personalities. And their symbols were marked on their forehead. There are servants like Shesha, Garuda, Vishakshena, and other leaders of his many groups of attendants bowed down before him with devotion, stood before him with palms joined above their heads, and praised him in wonderful poetic language. Narad Muni was dancing, and his expert singing and veena playing created such clever entertainment that the Lord and his two consorts, Rama and Dharani, sometimes laughed out loudly. The fullness of the ecstasy this sight brought to Gopkumar such delight that he forgot what the attendants of the Lord had instructed him. The attendants of the Lord, and the Vishnu Dutas actually told him that, look, when you go in front of the Lord, you should be very careful, very reverential, and so forth. But he completely forgot that in ecstasy. And he called out to him, "Oh Gopal, my life and soul." And he ran forward to embrace him. Some attendants who were standing by the Lord's side, they stopped him, and he became very heartbroken, not being able to. And then later on we'll see the other residents afterwards they told him, "You should not behave like that in front of the Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like worshipable Lord. He should be worshipped with great awe and reverence. Shouldn't be treated like the way you did, trying to embrace him. What do you think who you are?" So this is how they actually warned him. And the guards who actually stopped him, when they stopped him, Gopkumar fainted. So they carefully brought him back to his senses, wiped his face, which was smeared with tears, and in a gentle voice, the Lord then told him in a gentle voice, "Please come back to your senses, my boy. Come here quickly." And then he felt the highest limit of joy. He danced all around as if seized by madness and stumbled about. But with great endeavor, the Lord's servants calmed him down, and at last he awakened from the trance. And when he came back to his sense from the trance, he heard the Lord telling him, Narayan was telling him, "Welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you here. For so long I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking, perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this, he will finally turn his face towards me. So that shows how the Lord is actually waiting for us to go back to him. The Lord is telling Gop Kumar that I had been waiting for you for so long. And each time you took the birth, I thought that in this lifetime you'll come back to me. In this lifetime you'll turn your attention towards me. And in this way, one after another lifetime went by, and I was waiting, even dancing, hoping that you will be coming back to me. The Lord is telling him, but you showed me no mercy. And I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, in my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta. So the Lord himself became his guru. Today, you have at last fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever. So, hearing these words of the Lord, Gop Kumar felt as if he has become intoxicated by drinking the beverage of the Supreme Lord's words. He was unable to offer him praise or to understand or do anything. He was completely perplexed. Then just in front of him appeared a number of flute players dressed as cowherd like him. They were affectionately encouraged him to come, and they pulled him in their midst and urged him to play his flute. And Gop Kumar, in various style, in various tune, in various ragas, he played his flute, born on Govardhan hill. And in this way, he satisfied the ocean of all skillful, the ocean of all skillful arts, the reservoir of all mercy, Sri Madhav, along with his associates. When the time came to stop, everyone on the request of Lakshmi Devi started to leave. But he didn't want to go. The devotees had to persuade him to let them escort him outside. In Vaikuntha also, he was approached like everyone else by transcendental opulences, but he avoided them. He refused to show even the splendor that spontaneously appeared to him. He just resided there in the same form as a cowherd boy. In Vaikuntha, all opulences are purely spiritual, full of eternity, knowledge and bliss. In Vaikuntha, everything is full of, everything is Satchidananda, eternity, knowledge and bliss, and everything is so full of splendor. And Whenever somebody wants, they submit them. So like the splendor, all these opulences, all these inconceivable mystic powers and things, they automatically come to them whenever they want. But Gop Kumar remained unaffected by that, and he just maintained his simple demeanor as a cowherd boy, and he continued to pay serious attention to his worship of the Supreme Lord, and always happily behave like an insignificant person. And then in his heart he concluded that the great mercy of the Lord, he had now surely gained the ultimate fruit to be acquired from all his prior births and endeavors. And he used to think to himself, oh, what an unimaginable happiness, what an exalted abode, what a wonderful master, and how greatly wonderful his mercy. And then after some time, by the Lord's mercy, he obtained the intimate personal service to the Lord of fanning him with a chamara. And he felt the bliss of seeing the Lord all the time as he played for him on his flute. And by the habit of his past practice, over and over again, he would sometimes loudly chant in various ways, O Krishna, Gopala. He always sang openly in excellent prayers of his activities in Gokul, which reveal his greatest glories. The residents of the place, laughing with hearts melted by affection, often came to him when he was outside the Lord's presence and spoke to him in no uncertain terms, like teachers instructing a student. The residents of Vaikuntha said, you should not address the Lord as Lords like this. You should not address the Lord of the Lords like this. And don't sing his praise that way. Just recite the standard prayers about his unlimited, most amazing glories. To annihilate the wicked and protect the civilized, and to chant and to cheat Kamsa, the Lord disguised himself as a cowherd boy by his illusory energy. There they think that Krishna assumed that form in order to protect the devotees and annihilate the demons and cheat Kamsa, so that Kamsa could not recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he was disguising himself as a cowherd boy. Devotees of the Lord have little regard for tales of his illusory affairs. Such narrations may be suitable in the beginning of devotional practice, but they do not factually glorify the Lord. So we can see that the residents of Vaikuntha do not recognize Krishna's actual position. They think that Krishna is one of the incarnations of the Lord, that he came to the earth planet to kill Kamsa and other demons and protect the devotees. However, some of the Vaikuntha residents also told, among the Lord's inconceivable activities, those playful pastimes are also his pastimes. So there is no fault in chanting about them. The others, Vaikuntha verses told that you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't chant those names or treat him like that as a cowherd boy. That was just one pastime of the Lord. But some others said, well, after all, they're pastimes of the Lord, so there is no harm in chanting those or speaking about those pastimes. Then a few extremely exalted devotees stopped all the others angrily, said, really? Why are you talking like this? As if you had no intelligence. Krishna is so kind to his devotees that Sankirtan of any of his activities is glorious and beneficial and satisfying to our Divine Master. So in this way you can see in Vaikuntha also different residents of Vaikuntha, different associates of the Lord have different understanding and attitude. So at first, hearing that, hearing this kind of instructions, as it has been mentioned, they used to speak to him as if a teacher speaking to a student. So hearing that, Gopkumar used to feel embarrassed. Then he felt satisfied, thinking that although in truth the inner core of my heart was not fully appeased. He felt discouraged that he couldn't see the unique form, pastimes and other features of the lotus feet of his worshipable Lord Sri Gopal. But then he would see Lord Vaikuntanath, the most exalted knower of everything, as the darling son of Nanda Maharaj. So he would see Narayan as son of Nanda Maharaj. Lakshmi Devi and Dhara as Radhika and Chandravali. And see the Lord's personal attendants as the young boys of Braja. So although he would see the Lord in that way, but his heart would not become fully satisfied, because he couldn't see the Lord and his companions play as they do in the land of Braja. In the land of Braja, Krishna plays with his friends in such a wonderful way that he was missing. Although sometimes he would see that Narayan has become Krishna. He would see Narayan as Krishna. He would see Lakshmi Devi and Dharani Devi as Radhika and Chandravali. And he would see his attendants as cowherd boys. But although they would be there like that, but they wouldn't be acting like the way Krishna did in Vrindavan. Occasionally, in the gardens of Vaikuntha, he would see his Lord appear as in Braja, performing his pastimes. And he would see that the gardens were filled with herds of cows. At other times, he would see him sitting as usual on his throne in his all splendor, but looking just like Madan Gopal, just like Krishna, the cowherd boy. He would see him sitting on the throne as a cowherd boy of Vrindavan. So in this way we can see that in Vaikuntha, since he wanted to see Krishna, that desire was fulfilled. But still, his heart was not content, because although the Lord appeared to him like that, but he was not acting like a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. Sometimes the Lord would just go somewhere and no one would know where he went. So Gopkumar, although he felt that he achieved the ultimate goal of his desire, ultimate object of his desire, but still his heart was not content. His heart was feeling some sort of pain. And at that time, he would consider the root cause of his incompleteness, and that understanding itself would drive away the pain. And Gopkumar would console his mind also. Have not the slightest doubt. He would tell his mind. Don't have any doubt, slightest doubt. There is no attainment more desirable than living here in Vaikuntha. So why even raise the question? O fickle heart, now use your intelligence. Therefore, to cast this lower nature far away, it doesn't belong here. There is nothing greater than to reside in Vaikuntha, no greater goal. Consider the hundreds of arguments that support this truth and achieve the highest peace. So, although he was in his Satchidananda form, but we are seeing the Gopkumar's heart was not content. And he would think that this was the activity of his mind. His mind is telling all that. And these are the impressions that he is carrying from the previous situation in Earth planet. So he would chastise his mind, control his mind. That you have achieved Vaikuntha, why are you still feeling that way? Don't think that way. So in this way, he kept on residing in Vaikuntha, sometimes joyful and sometimes disturbed. Then one day, Narad Muni found him in a secluded place. And then Narad Muni told him, my dear cowherd boy, you have received the mercy of the divine Lord of Vaikuntha. Yet from signs like the paleness of your face, you appear depressed, like someone suffering misfortune. Please tell me what scope could be there for pain and sorrow here. In Vaikuntha there is no pain, there is no sorrow. They are not supposed to be, but why are you looking as if you are disturbed, as if you are discontent? So Narad Muni wanted to know, and then Gopkumar honestly admitted to him that I was most fortunate to have met that greatest authority, the most reliable of all well-wishers, who was equal to my Guru, and so I fully disclosed to him what was in my heart. He revealed everything. This is how he saw Narad Muni, and he told Narad Muni the whole story. After hearing that, Narad Muni sighed a little, glanced around, looked around, and drew him closer, and compassionately spoke to him in a soft voice. So Narad Muni told him that he have concluded that there is nothing higher to achieve than this abode. You are certainly correct. The truth cannot be other than this. But you desire to see with your own eyes the same pleasure pastimes of the Lord you worship that appear to you in meditation. You want to see those pastimes here in Vaikuntha and in full details. And Narad Muni tells that those pastimes give pleasure even to the Lord Himself. Those Vrindavan pastimes are so dear that even the Lord feels great pleasure. And one can approach them like those pastimes only with the highest degree of prema, like that of the residents of Vraja. Surely those pastimes can never be seen by persons like me. It is in certain world, somewhere above all others, that those pastimes are to be seen, enchanting the Lord's devotees. But by your bhakti for the Lord of the creation, you have come to Vaikuntha. How can you see those pastimes here? How can this greatest secret be revealed here in Vaikuntha, where the extreme limit of Lord's all-powerful opulence is displayed? So Narad Muni is talking about opulence as opposed to love. Vrindavan is the place of love, and this is the place of opulence. So in this opulent environment, that loving form of the Lord and the loving exchange with the Lord is not possible. In simple words, as long as we recognize Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we cannot possibly deal with Him the way the residents of Vrindavan deal with Krishna. So in order to develop that kind of loving relationship with Krishna, one has to go beyond Vaikuntha. So then Gopkumar wanted to hear from Narad Muni. And he asked, and he didn't even ask, Narad Muni could understand what was in his heart. So that is also another thing about a self-realized soul. Like personalities like Narad Muni or pure devotees can understand what's going on, what is there in the heart of other people. And then Narad Muni told about Vaikuntha, that don't think that the flocks of animals and birds of this place, or the trees, creepers, bushes, grass and other vegetation, are made from earth like ordinary creatures in the mode of ignorance. In fact, these are all personal associates of Sri Krishna, all with spiritual Satchidananda bodies. So, the personalities and objects of Vrindavan are not material, although they appear to be like material. They all are spiritual. In Vrindavan, the animals are not just living entities in the mode of ignorance having the animal body. The animal's bodies are transcendental, Satchidananda. The trees are Satchidananda. The bushes are Satchidananda. The grass is Satchidananda. So that is Vrindavan, although it appears to be like the earth planet. And then he explained, Narad Muni actually explained to him that in Vaikuntha, each devotee sees his Lord as according to his worshipable Lord, and the Lord assumes that form for him, appears to him. Like those who are the worshippers of Nrisinghadev, they will see the Lord in that form. Those who are worshippers of Varahadev, Kurmadev, they will see them accordingly. So Narad Muni was pointing out, actually the previous thing that I said about Vrindavan, it was not Vrindavan. Narad Muni was speaking about Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, all the living entities, even the animals and trees and plants and bushes and creepers, they all are Satchidananda form, transcendental. And the form that, in whichever way one worships the Lord, he sees him in that form in Vaikuntha. Because Lord Narayan manifests as the particular Lord of worship, with a form of suitable complexion and other qualities. And in this way they worship their Lord in their favorite forms and in places where he resides, his opulent cities and other abodes, and expand the ocean of happiness. Then Narad Muni told him, in the Lord's own appearances on earth, he shows similar varieties and equality. The Lord's own forms are the shelter and the treasure of the earth. Among them are Naranarayan and Dattatreya and Parasara, the son of Jamadagni and Kapila. There are those who playfully assume the appearance of deities, and those such as Vishnu and Yogeshwar, whom we have seen on Swargaloka and other higher planets. There are such various incarnations as Matsya, Kurma, Mahavaraha, Shriman Narasimha, and Vamana. Each of these forms of the Lord has its own activities and names, yet all of them are full in eternity, knowledge and bliss. Though manifesting variety in substance, they are eternally one. That one Lord of Vaikuntha resides in various places and appears in many forms just to give pleasure to all his multitude of servants. Brahma perceived this truth when he stole Krishna's boys and calves in the forest of Vrindavan. And I realized it while wandering amongst his many palaces in the city of Dwarka. Lord Krishna alone is the bestower of the fruits of all auspicious works. His lotus feet are worshipped by the masters of yoga. Whatever his personal energy creates is eternal and real, beyond illusion, just as he is. The incarnations of Sri Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, are likewise not different from him. Their source, just as he is eternal and real, so are they. Krishna alone is the source of all incarnations of Godhead. By his infinitely various excellences, distinct from those of everyone else, he is always supreme. Those excellences are known by the term Bhaga. And Krishna is different from Narayan. For when Krishna appears in his descent in the material world, he fully manifests the many unique glories. This quality is created by a special potency of the Lord, a playful aspect of his pure spiritual self. As Krishna assumes various forms for his pastimes, she creates varieties of ecstasy in devotional service. Then Gopkumar asked Narad Muni, "My Lord, divine deity forms of Supreme Godhead, like Lord Purushottam, the master of Niladri, are present on earth, and you consider them embodiments of eternity, knowledge and bliss. The one personality of Godhead, whose body is always Satchidananda, mercifully enacts the pastimes of being present in various places, in various forms. But why, therefore, do we hear different opinions about this form from the Puranas? The Puranic statements, coming as they do from the mouths of exalted souls, cannot be less than authoritative. Narad Muni is the first spiritual master for the path of worshipping the deity of the Lord. Upon hearing this question, Narad Muni became very pleased. He stood up and he embraced him in extreme ecstasy and answered this way. So Narad Muni mentioned, the deity forms I have mentioned are all equal to the original personality of Godhead. So do you understand that? Are you with me? Like, what did Narad Muni say? All these forms of the Lord are equal. Which verse of Brahma Samhita mentions that, confirms that, this statement? Who knows? Just one hand went up, Maharaja's hand. Okay, let us hear Maharaj say that since his hand went up. Very good. Diparchi reva hi dasantaram abhupetya. Just as one lamp lights many other lamps, but when they are lit, they all give out the same amount of light and heat. But the first lamp is the lamp that lit the other lamps. So similarly, Krishna is the original lamp, that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead from whom all the other incarnations came, but they all are equal. Then Narad Muni, after instructing further, is going to one point, is very important. Listen to that carefully. One can reach perfection by honoring even a blade of grass, provided one sees within it the presence of the Supreme Lord. You got the point? If one worships even a blade of grass, recognizing the fact that the Lord is there in that grass, he can achieve his spiritual perfection. So, what to speak of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his deity form? So this is a good point to defeat the Mayavadis, isn't it? Krishna is present everywhere. They say, why worship the deities? He is present everywhere. And our point is, if he is present everywhere, then why can't he be present in the deity? There are some groups, they say, no, deity should not be worshipped because he is present everywhere. The Murti, they don't call deity, they say Murti. So Narad Muni say, how then can one find fault in worshipping the deity, in whom the Lord personally appears? The deity form is not just a statue, just a murti. The Lord personally appears in the deity form, who evokes remembrance of the Lord, who has been consecrated by mantras, and who is the receiver of all kinds of devotional service. The Lord manifests himself in the deity form to receive the worship of his devotees, or to enable his devotees to render service unto him. That is why the Lord manifests himself in the deity form. Am I going too fast? In the sense, I am just giving the points, but not really explaining or elaborating. Are you, as I am reading, as I am speaking, do you all understand what is going on? Is that clear? And then Narad Muni mentioned that the important fact is that when a devotee renders service to the Lord, who is the supreme controller, he becomes subordinate to his devotees. So why shouldn't one serve the Lord in his deity form? So remember Gopkumar's question? Gopkumar's question was that the forms that are there in the earth planet, like Lord Jagannath and other such deity forms, are they still the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is here in Vaikuntha? You said that when he expands himself, they are non-different. Now, are the forms of the Lord that are present in the earth planet, that in the form of the deities, are they also the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And what was Narad Muni's answer? Yes. So did you also get it? Yes. I am seeing some are falling asleep. I saw some are falling asleep. So that's why I thought that I should wake you up. And as I said, it's a pity that I am trying to cover the whole thing. Probably it would have been better if I told them in story form. But if I told them in story form, these beautiful exchanges wouldn't have been so elaborately manifest. All the instructions couldn't have been so wonderfully manifest. And because the Supreme Controller, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, becomes subordinate to his devotees, therefore the Lord does not give bhakti so easily. Therefore the Lord hesitates to give bhakti to somebody. Got the point? Because the Supreme Controller becomes subordinate to those who have bhakti. And he offers his only to rare persons who have developed this unique attitude towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unique love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Gopkumar felt, Gopkumar told this Brahmana boy and that these words of Narad Muni increased his anxiety to see the lotus feet of his Lord, Srimadan Gopal. And his heart was filled with that intense desire, as if there was a storm of that desire to see the Lord. So this is also another important consideration, that as we become spiritually advanced, our spiritual emotions become more and more, meaning our attachment to the Lord and our emotion to the Lord becomes more and more overpowering and overwhelming. And this is understandable, like we see in the ordinary dealings. When a man falls in love with somebody, how does he behave? What actually happens to him when someone falls in love with somebody? So what to speak of when someone falls in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is that loving relationship real? Does that loving relationship happen? Yes, it happens. And we have to understand that relationship is millions of times more intense than any loving relationship we can think of or experience in the material world. Even in falling, there is an expression, madly fell in love with somebody. Madly, meaning somebody became mad in love with somebody. By falling in love with somebody, he became like a madman. So what to speak of when somebody falls in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So that is the main point that time and time again is coming up here. The Lord is providing us with this opportunity. We saw how the Lord feels about us. In Vaikuntha, when Gopkumar met Narayan, what did he tell him? I'm so happy that you came. I feel as if you have bestowed your mercy upon me. The Lord even said that you have been so merciful to me that you have come back. And he said, each life, when you got one life, I hoped that you would become a devotee of mine. You will turn your face towards me. You did not. I was hoping, but I got disappointed. Then you took another birth. I thought in this life maybe he will do that. Even then you didn't do that. I thought in the next life, when you took birth, again I thought that in this life he will. And then he said that finally I went out of my way to bring you back. I appeared there as your spiritual master. Jayanta. I appeared there as your spiritual master and guided you. And thank you very much that you took the instructions of your spiritual master so sincerely. So many people take initiation, but then what? But here we are seeing what Gopkumar did. The instructions of his spiritual master became his life and soul. So when you come to this platform of devotional service, take full advantage of it, recognizing that this is the ultimate perfection. This is the ultimate goal of life. Supreme Personality of Godhead is waiting for you is wait, just turn your face towards Him. He's sitting in your heart, waiting when He will come back to me, when He will turn His face towards me. So become serious about your spiritual life. Now, seeing Gopkumar's condition, Narad Muni, in a consoling way, spoke to Gopkumar. Although this topic is most confidential and should not be talked about here, by the weight of your anxiety, I am being forced to speak openly. Because these topics of pure devotion to Krishna is not even discussed in Vaikuntha. Even Vaikuntha Vasis should not have access to that. What we are getting here, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is not available even to the Vaikuntha Vasis, residents of Vaikuntha. So when Narad Muni is speaking, remember, Narad Muni looked around and he brought Gopkumar close to him. Why? So that nobody else could hear it in Vaikuntha. Because this is a secret even for Vaikuntha Vasis. And then Narad Muni started to tell him, far from here lies Ayodhya, the splendid city of Raghupati, the divine master of Raghu dynasty. And beyond that shines the city of Dwarka, dear to the divine master of the Jadus. Dwarka resembles the blessed and charming Mathura. Go to that Dwarka and worship with your eyes your beloved Lord. But first hear from me about an excellent method of approaching Ayodhya. From Vaikuntha, how to go to Ayodhya? Narad Muni pointed out to Gopkumar that you surrender to Lord Ramchandra's lotus feet and chant the mantra for Lord Ramchandra. And he also mentioned Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, the source of all incarnations, and simply by worship of Him, everything can be obtained. Yet I shall give you teachings to help you achieve a special taste for the divine lotus feet of Lord Ramchandra. By chanting Krishna mantra, you can achieve everything. But still to achieve some special relationship to Lord Ramchandra, I will give you one mantra. And that mantra is, O husband of Sita, Raghunath, elder brother of Lakshman, O Lord, dear master of Sri Hanuman, chant this mantra. And remember the quality, beauty and power of Lord Ramchandra as revealed in the Vedas and other scriptures. So, if after you have seen the two lotus feet of Sri Ram, your hankering to see your Lord is unappeased, then Ram, whose heart is soft from overflowing compassion, will happily send you to Dwarka. You go to Lord Ramchandra, but when Lord Ramchandra will see that your heart is still not content, then he will lead you, he will send you to Dwarka. And Narad Muni then told him, Ayodhya, Dwarka and other such abodes are all regions of Vaikuntha. Although they are in the higher region, but they are also Vaikuntha. Surely, therefore, you need not take permission from the Lord of Vaikuntha to to leave and go there. You didn't have to ask the permission of Narayan to go there. Being overjoyed upon receiving that instruction, Gopkumar bowed down repeatedly to Sri Narad, took his blessings and set out, remembering Narad Muni's instructions. After traveling a long way, he saw some forest monkeys restlessly jumping here and there and shouting, "Ram, Ram." And as he moved forward, they gathered around him and tried to grab his flute from his hand. Then he saw some humans who were even more beautiful than the associates of Lord Vaikuntha. Those, they look like, their behavior was like the most civilized persons. And when he bowed down in front of them, they couldn't tolerate his bowing down. And showing the sign, they brought him to the outer boundary of the city and through an entrance gate. There, before him, Gopkumar saw Bharat with Shatrughna, seated comfortably with monkeys like Sugriv, Angad and Jambavan, surrounded by many handsome men. Thinking Bharat to be Ramchandra, Lord of the Raghus, thinking Bharat to be Lord Ramchandra, Gopkumar offered him obeisances and prayers. But Bharat covered his ears and repeatedly forbade him, saying, "I am only a servant, I am only a servant." Then Gopkumar, afraid, Gopkumar stood motionless in front of Bharat with joined palms. Hanuman then quickly made him leave the place and enter the inner precincts of the city, where he saw the most amazing sight, the Supreme Lord in his form as the best of human beings, Narottama, sat comfortably on a royal throne in the best of the palaces, a palace full in all charming attractions, happy and marked with all the signs of a great personage. He seemed somewhat like Lord Narayan, but certain specially attractive features distinguished him from that Lord. His hand was adorned with a bow. His glances were delightfully modest and humble. That's the difference of Ramchandra and Narayan. Lord Ramchandra's glances were very humble, displaying his inner mood. Playing the role of a perfect king, he followed all the prescribed rules of religious behavior. Seeing Lord Ramchandra, Gopkumar became overwhelmed with ecstasy and fell down before him as if offering prostrate obeisances. My confusion then robbed him of supreme benefit of seeing him. But then by his mercy, he was able to stand up again. By the mercy of Lord Ramchandra, he was able to stand up again and see him clearly. Overwhelmed with greatest joy, he bowed down again and again, saying, "All glories, all glories." Then the soft-hearted Lord soothed him fully with the gentle nectar of his supremely impressive words. Lord Ramchandra told Gopkumar, "My dear son of cowherd, my best friend, well done, well done. By showing such affection, you have conquered me. Enough with all this exertion. Now just relax. You have made me, your dear friend, unhappy for long enough. Please get up, get up. All good fortune to you. Give up this formal respect, dear friend. I am always controlled by such pure love as yours. Then on the Lord's order, Hanuman then raised Gopkumar from the ground and forcefully brought him to the lotus feet of Lord Ramchandra. At that time, Gopkumar felt that all my long cherished desires been successful now, beyond what I had ever hoped. And where else could I have achieved such perfection? And in this way, he stayed there for some time as before, in his own dress as a cowherd boy. And the fullness of bliss that he tasted melted his heart. He saw the unique pastimes of divine Raghuvir, who was playing the role of a king of kings, acting in strict accord with religious principles. But still, there also he could not see the unique sweetness that he found within the varied playful pastimes of his worshipable deity's lotus feet. Who is his worshipable deity? Krishna. And Krishna's pastimes is full of sweetness. Whereas he couldn't see that sweetness in Lord Ramchandra's pastime. And nor could he find the special mercy. Thus, even there in Ajodhya, Gopkumar was still unhappy. But by hearing from Sri Hanuman the glories of Sri Ramchandra's lotus feet, and by directly seeing Lord Ramchandra personally, dispelled his mental distress. And he imagined Lord Ramchandra to have all the qualities of his worshipful deity. Finally, Lord Ramchandra, whose heart is tender with unlimited compassion, and who knows the mind of everyone in the world, consoled Gopkumar with words of gentle affection. Lord Ramchandra told him, go to Dwarka and be happy. He ordered and he sent Gopkumar off at once together with the chief of the bears. Who is the chief of the bears? Jambavan. So thus ends the 4th chapter of part 2 of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamritam, entitled Vaikuntha, the Spiritual Kingdom. Hare Krishna. So does anybody have any question? So, question from Parameshwari Radhika Devi Dasi from Gurgaon. Hare Krishna, Parameshwari. Gurudev, I can't understand why Gopkumar was sent to Vrindavan after he reached several destinations. Please explain. Yes, the answer is, he was sent to Vrindavan time and time again to develop the qualification to go beyond, go further. And there he met his guru, who actually guided him again and again. He went back to Vrindavan from this, we have to understand, earthly Vrindavan, Bhoma Vrindavan. So, there in Bhoma Vrindavan, He came from the abode of Lord Brahma, which is the highest place in this universe. But coming to Vrindavan, he actually became qualified to go beyond this region, Satyaloka. Then in this way he went to the abode of Lord Shiva. From there he came back being instructed by Mahakaleshwar, in order to become qualified to go even beyond to Vaikuntha. So now you understand how fortunate you are, Parameswari Devi, Radhika Devi Dasi. You are only about 150 kilometers from Vrindavan. So take full advantage of your good fortune. There's a long question, let's see. I'll just keep it for afterwards. So another long question from Kirti Kumari from Mayapur. We see that Gop Kumar traveled all around, meeting the Lord in different forms and moods. Somehow Gop Kumar kept hankering for the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna even unknowingly. Does that mean that our attachment for a specific form or mood of worship of the Lord is inherent to the soul? Does this specific attachment come from the soul itself? Is it inspired or directed by Krishna, or is it something which it may be given through parampara? Is this relation or attachment to favorite form something which is eternal, or does it undergo changes? So, yes, it is actually the result of the mantra. The mantra that you get from your spiritual master, that mantra actually creates that attachment. So he got the Gopal mantra from his spiritual master. So he became attracted to Gopal. Similarly, some people will get the Ramchandra's mantra and they will go to Ajodhya, and when they go to Ajodhya, they will become fully satisfied. In this way, the mantra is going to lead us to the ultimate destination. Then we see that Dhruva got to meet Narayan face to face, and therefore his attachment to him was fixed. We see that Prahlad invoked Nishingadev, and thus their relationship is fixed. We see that Lakshmi Devi, although hankering to be part of Rasa dance, still remains attached to her role as Lakshmi, the lover of Narayan. Then we see Gop Kumar, and whatever form he associates with, although not having proper understanding, still he is hankering for Krishna. As such, he did not develop the steadfast attachment for any of those forms. How is that, Guru Maharaj? So, Kirti Kumari, if you are still listening, did you get your answer? I hope you did. So, yes, as I said, it is through the mantra that one will develop his attachment to the personality of the mantra. So this question is Ashutosh Das. Who is Ashutosh Das? Okay. If somebody worships even a blade of grass, considering Lord residing there, then he can achieve perfection. In that sense, Jatomat Tatopat is true, because they believe in deity and also other things depending on their affection, like Kali, etc. How can we understand that situation? Please, anyway, please explain or elaborate. Okay, did you understand the point that was made? You mentioned it there also. Worship even a blade of grass, considering Lord residing there. That Krishna is there in the grass. Now when somebody worships Kali, do they think that Krishna is in Kali? Huh? What is your mat? Or Daridra Narayan? Huh? Do they think Narayan is Daridra? Or recognize that Narayan is in that personality? Narayan is there in him. Is Narayan there in him? So the understanding is to worship Narayan. The understanding is not Jatamat Tatupat. Okay? You mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam class that devotional service actually Shravanam Kirtanam, not devotional service, actually Shravanam Kirtanam is ninefold, but out of them the Shravanam Kirtan is most important. In temple, if some devotee shows their interest in chanting and hearing rather than doing physical service, how can we make balance on this? Okay, if somebody wants to do the only Shravanam and Kirtanam, then they go to the forest. All right? But if they want to stay in the temple, then they have to render devotional service. Not only the Shravanam and Kirtanam. Yes, Shravanam Kirtanam can be done, that can become, but what do we find? Gop Kumar. Where was he doing Shravanam Kirtanam? In the temple or in Vrindavan? In the forest. So if somebody wants to do only Shravanam Kirtanam and no devotional service, then we can also say no prasadam. And besides that, to really appreciate Shravanam Kirtanam, we have to render service. Sevan mukhe jivbhado. By Sheva, by service. So the devotional service is service. Shravanam Kirtan will inspire one to render service. Hitesh. Is there any difference in hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture and reading transcripts of lectures? Please guide. Both are good. The consideration is where you can focus yourself the best. If by... and personally I feel that reading we can concentrate better. But sometimes hearing is also very effective. That's why we have the standard of hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita while taking prasad. While taking prasad, then hear. All right? Hearing, because otherwise what will happen? While taking prasad, there will be prajalpa. There are so many questions here from Harin Bhattacharya, who is, Dandavat Pranam, okay. For myself and my wife, Shoma Bhattacharya, this is our first ever visit to ISKCON, Ujjain. We are overwhelmed by the hospitality here. The brahmacharis and other staff members going out of the way to make our stay comfortable and memorable. They're all so nice and seem to be molded in the nature of your soft personality. Your touch is felt everywhere. Here in Vaikuntha, we are blessed to be here. Thank you. Let's have the following questions. 1. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. In that case, do the other 3 Vaishnava Sampradayas follow Mahaprabhu's teachings? Is there any essential difference between the 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas? Well, those Sampradayas, they have their standard, their method, their way, their goal. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's thing is so unique that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 aspects from all 4 Sampradayas. Therefore, if one of them, if they from those Sampradayas want to come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are welcome. And they will find their goal also in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Although God has given us free will, but it seems everything in life is predestined. Please throw some light on this. Everything is not predestined. Everything, something may be predestined, but at the same time, one has his free will to decide what he wants to do. Right? Like, are you chanting 16 rounds? So is it predestined or you had to decide? Are you following the 4 regulative principles? Was it predestined or you decided? So, everything is not predestined. Brihad Bhagavatamritam, Bengali translation, where can one find it? Yes, it is there. In Gauriya Math, they have the translation of Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Question from Satyam Bhuvaneshwar. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. My question is, if Krishna loves Vrindavan Vasi very much, then why Krishna did not go back to Vrindavan from Dwarka? Actually, Krishna loves Brajavasi so much that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna is always in Vrindavan. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So it's not that Krishna will have to go to Vrindavan. Krishna never left Vrindavan. Krishna is always there. Vrindavanam parittajya kutra kadapi na gacchati. So there is a question from Anandananda Das Tamluk. I pray your causeless mercy by getting your answer for the following questions. 1. Why there are 4 bona fide sampradaya, although God is one? God is one, but the teachers are different. That's why there are 4 different sampradayas. The teachings came from Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi and 4 Kumaras. And accordingly, there are 4 sampradayas. And all the 4 sampradayas are indicating the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The bona fide sampradaya could be one as sources of all things is one. Branches may be there, but is any significant reason is there behind 4 bona fide sampradayas? I mentioned the 4 sampradayas are coming from 4 different gurus, 4 different sampradaya acharya. And that is the difference. Sri Krishna wants all of us to be returned to the spiritual world, at least who tries his best to go back. His real identity as a soul and the servant of Sri Krishna. Sometimes it happens, but sometimes Mahamaya covers the way. Is this also the desire of Sri Krishna, to create obstacles in returning way of spiritual life? If yes, then to whom we should pray for recovery? The purpose of the university is to educate you. And what does the university do? They have teachers to teach you throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, there is an examination. Now, is the examination meant for stopping you from learning the subject? Or the examination is meant for qualifying you to go forward? So Maya's allurements are the tests. That is, Maya is asking you, do you want Krishna, or do you want bashing from me? Do you want to be beaten up by me, or you want to get Krishna? So if you say, no, I want you, then she says, come on, get a few thrashing, right? And life after life, you are being thrashed around. Now you come back to your senses and desire Krishna to become the goal of your life. Maya is not obstructing you, Maya is testing you. Maya is putting you into these examinations to see whether you want Krishna or whether you want Maya's kicks. As soul, we are the part and parcel of Krishna and have same quality. So can soul also create and operate in internal power, Antaranga Shakti? Anandananda, I hope you read Prabhupada's books. If you read Prabhupada's books, then you wouldn't have asked questions like this. These questions are coming because you are hearing me and you do not have the basic understanding. The soul is a part and parcel of Krishna, but the soul is minute. Therefore, a soul is fallible. The soul can fall down to this material nature, or the soul can remain in Krishna's Antaranga Shakti. A liberated soul is in Krishna's Antaranga Shakti, Krishna's internal potency. So please read Prabhupada's books carefully. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, okay, today also I will request someone to lead the kirtan. Today I will request Bhakti Prem Maharaj to lead the kirtan. Because after this class, I am feeling quite exhausted, and I have some meetings also at 7 o'clock, at 7:30 actually. So, and actually it was a mistake to have the kirtan after the class, because after 2 hours class I feel quite exhausted, and especially I was not feeling very well. Actually, when I came back to Ujjain, when I came back to India, actually before coming back I was already quite not very well, nothing serious, but very exhausted. And probably you can see that my voice is not very strong. I have to really exert myself to speak. And it's causing also some effort and exertion. Anyway, so you all will be ecstatically dancing, I'm sure, when Bhakti Prem Maharaj leads the kirtan today. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.